2020 taking us into North Iowa today, where Democratic Senate candidate Teresa Greenfield is stopping at small businesses throughout the northern part of the state, listening to voters and hearing the issues. But first, U.S. Agriculture Secretary Sonny Perdue also talking about Senate races and stumping for Republicans, and talking to me about the issues facing Middle America. Thanks so much for keeping it with us here on ABC 6 News at 6:30. I'm Betsy Singer. Where we are in North Iowa, Sonny Perdue was joined by longtime Republican Senator Chuck Grassley today, stumping for other Republicans all throughout the state. While here in Mason City, he took time out to sit down and talk with me about the issues facing our country. There are so many things that his critics will hammer, but then there are things that he has done right. In your opinion, what are those? Well,
certainly, it's really interesting that people would obviously accuse him of not responding to COVID-19. I think those are hollow accusations. In fact, you have a person running for president, Joe Biden, who accused him of being xenophobic when he closed down the people coming from China. Now he says, oh, that was too late. So these are it's a political year. These kind of accusations, COVID has been a horrible type of pandemic for America, for the globe. No one could have anticipated that. We're still learning about COVID. So the fact is, I think the president has taken, I'm like Mike Pence, I'm very proud of the action that he's taken. Obviously shutting down the input of people coming into the country, obviously the warp speed of vaccine production, and standing up the Corona Task Force, I think has been extremely helpful. I think we could have lost a lot more lives had we not taken those actions.
I know that you are not here in an official capacity. The Senate seats that are up for grabs right now are vital. You said in there it's the, how did you put it? The so what, now what, then what?
What? So what? Now what are you going to do about it?
That's Explain that.
Yeah. Well, obviously, we know the what is the largest contrast of we've ever seen of political ideologies. This is not a small division. If you read the Democratic and Republican platforms, they are contrast, almost 180 degrees, whether you're going to go left to socialism or whether you're going to go right to economic independence moving forward. And I believe that. So what does that matter? It matters for my 14 grandchildren, the kind of America that we're going to live in. I'm here as an American citizen because I believe in the future of this country. I think the best is yet to come if we continue to elect the policies that will allow Americans to have the greatest opportunity on this globe. We've been blessed as a nation. I think the president loves the farmers, agriculture, because I think he embodies that spirit that built this country and made it the greatest country on earth. You've got many people on the other side that don't believe in American exceptionalism. They are lambasting the United States of America. They're criticizing it at every turn. I'm not one of those. I feel blessed to live in the United States of America, and I want my children and grandchildren to have those same opportunities that I have.
Conversation with Mr. Perdue will continue after the break as we talk about something that all candidates are talking about in this general election, and that is clean energy. The Agriculture Secretary telling me that ethanol is a big issue here in Iowa, as we know, and how he sees the industry and the changes coming. Back to ABC 6 News at 6:30. I'm Betsy Singer, where today we are in North Iowa talking to candidates and campaigns from the Republican and Democratic side. I'm continuing my conversation now with Agriculture Secretary Sonny Perdue. What's at stake for the ethanol industry should President Trump lose?
I think, again, you've got to look at where it was before in that regard. You've got to look at E15. Go back to 3 or 4 months out of the year. Again, we've heard statements about you've got to have the petroleum industry. You got to have that to have ethanol to be blended into. Are we going to have all electric vehicles? Some people have said one of the vice presidential candidates on the other side wants electric scooters rather than automobiles. So I think it's a serious, very serious challenge and a very serious contradiction of where we can head. It will have a tremendous negative effect on ethanol and agriculture in general.
The clean energy policies for Biden and for Trump are very different. Can you explain some of the contrasts and why you support President Trump's plan?
Well, I support President Trump's because we've seen energy independence. If you remember just a few years ago, he talks about the 19-year-long war in Afghanistan, Iraq, and Iran. I mean, why were we over there? Was it we were pulling out billions of dollars to foreign governments that were terroristic toward us that way? Now, because of the energy policies that the Trump administration is espousing, we are energy independent. We are exporters now rather than importers of energy. Are we going to go back with the environmental policies that we see? I know Biden is acting like he didn't say it, but he absolutely did say it. No more fracking. He's going to do away with the petroleum industry. Now, he can backtrack that when he gets criticism about it, but go back and Google it. He absolutely said that. You're seeing Trump recognize energy independence as geopolitical power in the world, and that's important. If the United States is going to return to the greatest nation on earth economically and independent energy-wise, then we've got to have these policies to continue. Ethanol is a huge component of that.
Coming up after the break, from Mason City to Clear Lake, where I caught up with Democratic Senate candidate Teresa Greenfield. She talked to me about the three biggest issues she keeps hearing from Iowans as she is on the campaign trail. That's next.